What's the deal, dude?
And welcome to our city. We're so glad that you joined us here tonight. We have some terrific guests coming up with a ton of information for everyone. But first, I'd like to highlight what we just got to experience over the weekend. Muscatine annually has an event called Eagles and Ivories. So it's a combination of all kinds of ragtime music for the whole weekend, actually starting on Thursday through Sunday, as well as a whole day on Saturday of eagle watching. It was a ton of fun. If you've never got to experience this, you are not going to want to miss it next year. We have some pictures coming up here in just a second. I can share a few things with you. What I really love about Eagles and Ivories is it's put on by the Muscatine Arts Council, and what they do is they do a terrific job of presenting the information, all of the performances to both youth and the elderly. So we went to, of course, we had Eagle Days on Saturday down at Pearl City Station, and they had all the telescopes set up for everybody to watch the eagles. It was a nice day. Usually it's freezing cold and you don't want to go outside, but I braved it this time. And they start actually by going out to Sunnybrook and having a presentation out there, a wonderful performance at Sunnybrook. My husband and I went out and enjoyed it again this year, and it is so nice. If you haven't done it, it's just a lot of fun. We are so fortunate that we have this event. It is known throughout the area and even farther away. People come from many other states to attend our Eagles and Ivories, our annual ragtime event. So you'll have to watch for it next year if you missed it. But I really wanted to thank everybody involved for putting this event together for Muscatine. It takes a ton of work and planning. Actually, I know they've already started planning some stuff for next year, all year long. And the biggest and best part is that it's all done by volunteers. We talk about that all the time on our show, that the things that happen here in our city just could not happen without volunteers. So thank you to you if you're a volunteer, and if you're not, raise your hand and help out. There's a ton of places you can do that at. Well, we are going to welcome our first guest. We have Dave Pop with us. He's the Muscatine Solid Waste Manager, and he does a lot of stuff for us that we probably don't even realize. But he's here to talk to us tonight about the changes that have been made just this year to Spring Cleanup Week. Welcome, Dave.
Good evening, Mayor.
Hey, thanks for coming.
You bet.
Now, you've been with us, have you been here 2 years yet?
Just about, yeah.
Just about 2
Yeah.
years, yes. So you had to go through one Spring Cleanup Week, and that was enough for you.
I started, the day I started was in the middle of Spring Cleanup Week.
Oh, goodness.
So
I hear tales
Got to
of
experience that
how,
firsthand.
yes, how crazy it is. So we've done some changes we're gonna change it up.
yeah, we're looking at taking a couple of programs that we already offer the citizens, one being Spring Cleanup Week, and one being the bulky waste pickup that we have already offered
Right.
throughout the year for the residents.
And that's the one that you can call and
in.
schedule 3 times a year. You get it free,
Correct.
and they come and pick up all
Correct.
your stuff.
Well, with that, we had a limited amount, 7 items that we would
Oh,
let you
really?
schedule.
I didn't
so-
realize there was even a limit on
Yeah,
items. So
yeah.
it was 3 times 7 items
Correct.
each. Now,
So now we're looking at unlimited amounts that you can call in and schedule a pickup with a little bit larger amount of waste that you can place out.
So more than 7. What,
Correct.
did we come up with, did you come up with a pickup, about a pickup load?
So that, yeah, actually, Brian, that was kind of his
Brian Steinman?
idea to use that size of a load. So.
Well, that helps you get a visual.
Right.
You know, because if you told me square foot or how much it weighs, that's not going to do me any good at all. But a pickup load, yeah, we all can picture that in our minds.
Correct. Yeah.
So you could call and schedule for up to a pickup load.
Yep.
How many times?
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
If you have, say, you're putting carpeting in your house, and you know you want to dispose of it yourself. You know, in the past, if it didn't fall on that spring cleanup week, or
Then you just have to hang on to it.
yeah, or you know, you
or
have
call.
to pay to dispose of it. So.
Sure.
So this, you know, this will kind of suit the citizens more for what they're doing throughout the year, and not necessarily make them feel like they have to get something done by that spring cleanup week in order to take it.
So it's not going to be a separate time anymore. It's going to be all year round.
All year round.
Tailored to you.
Correct.
So you can call and or as many times as you need to.
That's right.
Are there limits of what you could put in
There
bulky
are,
waste?
you know, furniture items, mattresses. One thing about mattresses with this, we've kind of been easing into this, but with this, we're going to require any mattresses that are asked or scheduled to pick up curbside to be wrapped in a plastic bag. So if you buy a new mattress and it comes in a bag, you know, you can put your old one in that and set it out. Or we have the bags at the transfer station that you can pick up for no charge.
Do I want to guess what the reason for that is?
There's a couple of reasons. One being health reasons, and a second being weather related. You know, say you.
Sure, if it got soaking wet, that'd be a mess, wouldn't it?
Pretty hard for the guys to wrestle one of those and get it in the truck if it's soaking wet.
So some things need a plastic bag, like a mattress.
Correct.
Other things rip off the plastic bag, like your Christmas tree.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep that
we're coming to the end of that collection. And one of the rules there was
no plastic bags.
Yeah, in the plastic bags. Right.
And you know, we all pull that. Well, we still have a live tree, so we put that plastic bag at the bottom and then lift it all the way up. And
that's great to get it out the door, but
then after you do, rip it all off.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
But mattresses put in a bag.
Yes.
So you have them down there.
We do. We have, you know, those available. You know, we're gonna go ahead and make those available for no charge, just kind of as a safe factor for our employees that have to handle these. So
I'm thinking bed bugs.
well,
That's what I was thinking the whole time. I know.
one of the reasons, but
Sure. Well, unfortunately, we do have to contend with that here in Muscatine, but we're not the only city that does.
Right. It's not an isolated problem. So.
It isn't, but certainly we want to keep everybody protected.
That's right.
Makes sense.
And
So,
you know, just to make it mandatory for everybody, then you know, there's no gray area.
There's no picking and choosing.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
So mattresses have to have plastic on them.
Correct.
And what are some of the other regulations?
So just some examples of the large items that we will pick up, and this is kind of a list that was used every year for spring cleanup, just to give an example, you know.
Okay.
Furniture, couch, chair, recliner, tables, those kind of things. Carpeting, if you've got carpeting, we ask that you cut it up into pieces that are no longer than 4 foot, and rolled up and tied together so the guys
So have a bunch of little bundles?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that way they,
What do you cut them with?
Just a regular utility knife.
Okay.
Yep. Old swing sets, dismantle those if you want to stick those out. Small portions of building materials, say you've got an old porch railing that you want to replace, you know, take that apart.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want, you know, somebody to tear the roof off their garage or tear a shed down and stick the whole thing out there.
Sure.
Appliances, we're accepting another kind of a unique thing this year, or with this change, is we're going to accept 2 free appliances curbside every year. So
otherwise, there's a fee for those?
Otherwise, there's a fee.
Okay.
Yep.
Like how much?
$10.
$10 for each,
appliances, yeah.
whether it be a stove or a refrigerator or anything like
Microwave,
that.
washer.
Oh, even those count,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So they're gonna get 2 free a year,
Yep.
okay.
And one thing to keep in mind is we have a good list of these on the city website, so.
So you can just go on there and look up all
look
the rules and regulations and.
Yep.
So during spring cleanup week, some stuff was free that isn't normally free.
Correct.
So how's that gonna be adjusted?
So that, I think you're referring to electronics
Yes.
and tires.
Yes.
So what we did there was we would let residents bring down electronics
Mhm.
to the transfer station
Mhm.
for a week, and that would be no charge
Right.
for up to 3 electronics,
Mhm.
3 TVs or whatnot. And then also have a separate week for tires where residents could bring down up to 4 tires for free.
Mhm.
We're still going to do that. Electronics will be the week of April 27th through May 1st.
So there still would be that week, but you just take them down?
Take them down,
Okay.
correct. And then tires will be May 11th through the 18th.
Okay, so you guys have thought of everything so that everybody gets everything accommodated.
Yeah, we're, trying to, like I say, combine the 2 services that we offered in the past and hopefully make it a little bit better for the residents than what they've had.
Oh, sure. Well, I know that electronic thing would be helpful because everybody ends up with those electronics that they need to dispose of. And
Right.
I know I had the displeasure of helping our grandson clean out a room, and he liked to take parts off. So 7 TVs I got
Yes.
to pay to have disposed of. Mhm.
And I think we're kind of seeing a trend where we're transitioning from the old tube types. Everybody's,
Yes.
last year's totals for electronics was down a bit. So, I'm thinking that we're getting a lot of those cleaned out of the homes and,
Sure.
getting
And moving to the
flat screens.
flat screen.
Yep.
I think our families, our kids all have all flat screens. We have, I think, 7 TVs, but they're not flat screen because our TVs still work.
Right.
What do you throw it away just
Yeah.
because it's not a flat screen? My husband won't hear of that, but you gotta move into that new age at some
You'll
point.
see a lot of people put a tube type out of the curb and put a note on it that says free words.
Nobody
but
wants
Nobody
it.
wants it.
No,
So,
they're big and bulky and heavy,
right.
heavy, and they take up so much space.
So then some other services that, we're gonna continue to offer year round is the household hazardous waste collection that we offer for free for the residents.
They just take it down, right?
Correct, yep. So those are your oil-based paints, your pesticides, fertilizers, that kind of thing.
Oil, car oil.
Car oil, antifreeze.
Now, can that be scheduled for pickup, or you have to take that down?
That is mandatory that they bring it
Bring it down.
down to the transfer station.
Okay.
Otherwise, we have to be licensed to haul the hazardous waste.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Usually if people ask, you can find out there's usually a reason behind every rule.
Right.
You just ask enough, yep,
So,
okay.
that's gonna go unchanged. Other than that, along with this, we're still gonna offer the curbside yard waste collection that we always
Okay.
have the same day, as your bulky waste set out.
Mhm.
So,
So they could put out tree limbs
Tree limbs,
bundled and leaves,
and yard
bags
waste
of leaves,
yeah.
and they just have to buy the yard waste bags, right?
Correct, and for us to pick it up curbside at no charge, it has to be in the city of Muscatine yard waste bag.
Okay,
So, there again, if you
because they
want.
sell ones that aren't, you can get tricked.
Correct,
You
correct.
have to buy the ones that say City of
Yeah.
Muscatine.
So the non-city of Muscatine, you're still welcome to bring those down to the compost facility for no
You
charge.
have to bring it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know,
Correct.
good to know.
There again, with going back to the electronic and the tire drop-off weeks,
Uh-huh.
we'll need a form of ID, just our way of verifying that you're a resident,
Sure.
and so that we can track, that you've already been there, so.
And the whole reason behind that, I think I always try to share that with people is the transfer station, these services are paid for by the taxes of people that live in the city of Muscatine. And so we want those services to only be done for those people who are paying for those services. People out in the county aren't paying for garbage pickup.
Correct. Or,
So-
the use of the brush
Or the use
facility.
of, sure. So now you require a photo ID that shows that you're a resident of the city of Muscatine.
Correct.
Very good.
One note, something for those watching in Louisa County. So Louisa County utilizes our household hazardous waste facility.
Okay.
But they actually, we track how many people come in from Louisa County, and Louisa County pays, reimburse us for,
So there is,
for that use.
yes.
So,
And that makes sense. You want the people that are paying for the service to be the ones to be able to access
it's,
it.
more and more becoming a bigger cost for us to process all these materials. So.
Oh, sure. I know, I tried to explain that to people sometimes that we have to pay, like the electronics, we have to pay to have those sent somewhere. It's not like we're charging that fee for no reason. We're
Correct.
just recovering, not making any money off of it, just recovering our costs.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and it looks like going into the budget this year, the residents won't see any increase in their solid waste fees, so that's good news to.
Right. And by keeping this to the people that are paying for it, the residents of the city of Muscatine, we can keep our costs down. If we open it up and have other people coming and bringing their stuff in,
That's right.
the costs are gonna go up and the fees are gonna go up to the people in Muscatine, and we wanna make sure that that's not the case.
Correct.
So there is a thing now where you get a sticker. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so we did some changes here last fall to our brush and compost facility. We were seeing increasing amount of material being brought in, which in turn costs more to process, when we had to grind it. It just seemed like it was really busy, so what we enacted was still it's a free area or service for the residents of Muscatine, and a charge for people outside of Muscatine and the city of Fruitville.
And it still is pretty minimal,
Right.
the charge,
Right.
if you didn't live here, but at least it covers the costs.
Right. So what we're hoping to do is see the amount of material that we bring in decrease, and also generate some revenue to help pay for the processing costs of that material.
Sure.
So your question was, so what we helped, or what we did was to help identify the residents of Muscatine. If they wanted to, they could get a sticker from us, basically a little round green sticker with a leaf on it they could put in their window to help speed things up as they come in, when it's busy at the compost facility. Just so that we can identify that we know that they're a resident and they don't have to stop and bring their ID up.
Right. Somebody asked a question last week or the week before, if they didn't have a truck and they were using somebody else's truck to haul their stuff. And it was maybe their dad's truck out in the county, but they were told, you don't have to put the sticker on your vehicle. You can carry it with you and show your identification to go with it.
Right, yeah.
Because some people don't have a truck, they might have a relative come and haul their stuff down for them.
Correct.
So
and the
that makes
sticker,
sense.
Is really optional. If somebody doesn't want to put the sticker in their window, they just need
Show
to
your
stop
ID.
and come up and show your ID and prove that you're a resident. So.
Yeah. And what are the hours that they can do that? That they can use the
So
drop
Sundays
off?
for the compost?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're closed for the season,
Uh-huh.
but when we do open up sometime in March, depending on the weather, it'll be Sunday from noon to 6, and then all other days. Sunday through Friday from noon to 6, and Saturday from 9 to 6.
Okay. And during those hours, they can just come, show your sticker, show
Right.
your ID. Where can they get the sticker? Here at City Hall as well as the transfer station?
And at Public Works.
And at Public Works, so
Right.
they have 3 different choices they can do.
Right.
And they don't have to have the sticker. That's just a way to speed up the process. They'll just wave you through, I
More
suppose.
convenience for the
Sure.
people using this facility.
Okay.
Because it can get, especially, Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, there's usually
Oh, yeah.
a dozen vehicles waiting to get
Yeah,
in the gates.
you don't want to have to stop and
Yeah.
wait in line, just go right on through. Very good.
In addition to that, I'll probably put in a plug. We've got a lot of nice shredded mulch for people to pick up at no
Or
charge.
in the spring,
in the
sure.
spring.
Because it's better now than it used to be.
Yeah, it's shredded.
Extra shredded.
Yep.
Finer
real similar to
yes.
what you would buy in the bag
In the
at your,
bag.
at your stores, so.
Yeah.
That's no charge for residents. We also start to, if you live in your Fruitland, you do pay a $200 for this delivered.
Well, how neat is that? I hadn't heard that. How nice is
So
that?
if you've got, some large landscape and no way to haul it away.
Oh, sure. Come and drop it off, and then they can just shovel load it over,
Yeah.
wheelbarrow it. Oh, well, that's handy. And it's free. I mean, you can spend a lot of money buying bags of mulch.
Right, yeah, the material itself is free.
Mhm.
We've got a small delivery charge. but,
Sure, $20 for that, but you can spend that and we could use up that many bags of mulch
10 bags of mulch.
in no time, yes.
So, so we've got that.
That's handy.
We still have the chipped wood chips,
Uh-huh.
a lot of people like to use those. And then we also do offer the availability of firewood if residents want to come down.
Oh, really?
And we keep the large firewood separate so that they can pick through that and cut that up. We just have to have.
So if you're going out camping, you can back up your truck and get you a bunch of firewood?
Just have to fill out a release form,
Well, we want to be careful that we don't take it in other areas.
Right, more for injury, if,
Sure.
so yeah, those are some things to keep in mind.
I didn't realize that you did firewood that way because, I mean, if you go out to the campsites, you can pay $3 for a bundle of a
Right,
couple
right.
of
Yeah,
logs, which is gone
yeah.
in an
So
hour.
we've got a nice large pile that people can,
That's nice.
if there's wood cut to size there, they're welcome to take it, or for the homeowners that have the ability
fireplace.
to cut it,
Mhm.
they can cut it down there.
Sure.
and
Oh,
load it
they
up.
can, they can cut it themselves
Yep.
down there?
Yep, we just have
bring
to
the chainsaw and.
sign a safety release form,
Sure,
so,
sure. That's handy.
yes.
It's so nice how you work to meet the needs of everybody and try to think of, what's gonna make it easier for them. I love the delivery option, being able to just back up and unload your stuff and pick up other stuff is
Sure.
handy for the residents.
Yep. So, yeah, I think it's, making some good progress, becoming a little more user-friendly at the site,
Yeah,
so.
sure. I think so too. Anything we missed? When's this starting?
So we're, bulky waste pickup, we're looking at starting it Monday,
Very
February
good.
3rd, so,
So get on the phone
yeah, we're
and
taking some
call.
calls.
Okay.
So we do have a new phone number, I think you're gonna have that up on the screen here.
Uh-huh.
264-JUNK or 264-5865. Then we also have a dedicated web address
Mhm.
for people to, if they want to email us, we'll call them back and arrange, their scheduled time.
Okay.
So that's bulkywaste@muscatineiowa.gov.
Well, that's how, so you can arrange for a pickup that way too.
Yeah, so-
Instead of calling.
Well, yeah,
Either way,
either way, if you email us, we will call you back.
to get it scheduled.
And one of the things we're trying to get with this, we want to really talk, one-on-one to the people so that they understand how this is gonna work, the rules.
Sure, sure.
Try to get away from like the spring cleanup, where people would have, piles the size of this room set out.
Mhm, mhm.
So yeah, by calling or emailing us, we're gonna physically talk to
To each
each
person.
individual and go over their questions and go over the rules with them and,
Mhm.
make sure they understand what they can set out
Sure.
and when.
Because it's new, it's a new thing, and we appreciate your patience with all of the citizens as they try to learn the new process and how it's gonna work. And there'll be bugs for everybody
Oh, yeah,
and, hoops to jump through at first as we're all learning the new process. But I really think in the long run, it's gonna avoid some of the problems that we were seeing with Spring Cleanup Week, with others outside the city bringing stuff, with the, people setting out stuff that wasn't appropriate, and it being so backed up where there was junk laying all over the city
Right.
for quite some time. We weren't a very attractive
Yeah.
looking city.
You had mentioned, when I started it, like I said, it was during spring cleanup week.
You probably wanted to turn around
Which-
and leave.
So, they typically would run to 2 weeks, to get
Uh-huh.
everything done. I'll never forget going home that Friday night of the first week, and it was a really windy day, and just seeing, piles that were still out being blown across the street and thinking, man, this is not gonna be a pretty weekend for the
Sure,
community.
oh
so-
no. And we had put out like storm windows before, and somebody came and like took all of the aluminum off the outside, but then just left the glass
Right.
to get all broken into pieces all
Right.
over the driveway.
Right.
You know, and nobody wants that. Nobody means to do that, but that's what happens.
And that creates a hazard for the
And
guys picking it up. And,
surely it does. Sure, and having so many youth in the community, you worry about the safety of the children too.
Right. So,
Mhm.
you know, I think one advantage doing it this way, these piles will be out for a very short period of time. You know, they're not going
And
to be
scheduled.
out there. Yes. So not out there long enough for people to rummage through them
Sure.
and create a hazard.
Now, will the bulky waste be like it's been before, where they come on your day?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So we will only schedule these on your trash collection day.
Uh-huh.
So that kind of keeps us in one section of town, not running all over.
That's true, which tries to help make it be more of a workable process for you
Correct.
than having one on East Hill and one on West Hill.
Yeah.
So you could focus.
Um,
That helps.
You know, we'll
Mhm.
do this with 2 employees, where in the past we've had 2 divisions, street division and
Mhm.
solid waste and
Sure.
several
Mhm.
temporary temp service employees, multiple pieces of equipment where, you know, by doing this, we can do it with 1 truck that we already own
Mhm.
and 2 employees.
And hopefully make the process a little more streamlined for everyone.
Yeah.
Very good. So if people have questions, they can call.
You can call.
They can call down at Solid Waste,
Correct,
or they can call Public Works,
correct,
or they can call here at the city and they'll patch them through.
correct.
Or they could probably email Bulky Waste and just to ask a question.
Send us an email, or I believe on our website, we're gonna create
Mm-hmm.
a more user-friendly way to navigate through to get to this.
That's good, because you know, I was looking on there the other day. It takes you a little while to find it.
Yeah, it's on there, but you just
Uh-huh,
gotta
it's
know
on there.
what to click and.
Exactly,
and,
exactly.
So I believe, you know, our staff is working on a way to make that a little more user-friendly.
That'd be helpful. You know, people anymore, everybody's so busy, they don't have time. And so it's gotta be instant gratification when they get to looking for something. They wanna
Right.
know it right now.
Right.
Yes.
And then lastly, we're working on something to put in the mail to send out to all the residents.
Some type of a notice,
Some type of a notice,
notification.
something to keep, you know, handy on
Mhm.
your fridge or whatnot, to where, you know, you'll have the website there, you'll have the phone number there, and you'll know where to call when you do
Sure.
need to utilize this service.
That'll help.
Yep.
Just put that up on your fridge somehow and put a clip on there and,
Yep.
and there you go. And I believe that when we talked about this at the city council meeting, we talked about, you know, let's see how this goes.
Right,
You know, so let us know what your experiences are. I always welcome feedback. I know you guys welcome feedback. I think if people love the service, if they have suggestions for change, if they experience any difficulties, let us know. We can't fix it if we don't know.
right.
And we can't modify things if we don't know. And maybe you have a great idea that we haven't thought of yet. So
That's right.
let's communicate that, and
We'll track it throughout the year and.
I think that's a great
you know,
idea.
keep some totals on how many tons of bulky waste we
Sure.
pick up and how many stops we do, and,
Yep.
you know.
Do
this-
some reevaluating, you know,
This time
something
next year,
new.
we'll take another look at it and see.
I
if
think it's a great
success.
idea.
Yep.
Mhm. Keep Muscatine clean, everybody can, on their own schedule, do their own spring cleanup week and give a call. And
Yep.
how much time can people expect that they need to call ahead for when they're scheduling?
So we're asking at least 2 days prior to your scheduled trash day. So if your collection day is Friday,
Uh-huh.
we would ask that you call by Wednesday at 3:30. That'll give staff time to get the list together, you know.
That's fair enough, because
Yeah.
they've got to, you probably, I'm assuming, make a route.
Correct. Yes.
You know,
Yes,
what's gonna be
so
the most feasible route, the
Yeah.
most time saving, and, you know, go down, we've got this pickup, this, yeah, and
Yeah.
just, and that takes a little bit of time.
Yep, it does.
Yep.
We're targeting around 20 stops a day for the bulky waste.
Will you cap it?
We
if
will.
it got too crazy?
Yeah, we're using 20. You know, if somebody calls in and they're number 21 at 3:30 on the cutoff, yeah,
Sure.
we'll see. We'll judge. You know, I would think after a while
It's going to be spread out enough.
and I would hope that things are gonna, you know, we're gonna get things picked up.
Sure.
People will get everything cleaned out after a certain time, and
True.
the amount that we're picking up hopefully will reduce a little bit.
Although, have you ever seen how fast you can fill up a
Oh, I know.
garbage can at home? I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Very, very fastly. It seems like you just get done emptying it and there you go.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate the changes, and I think we're going to really like some of these things
Yeah,
that
I
are
do
going to
too.
be happening. Like I said, we welcome everybody's comments, good and bad, so we can have an opportunity to make things better and better for our city. That's what we're always after.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Dave, for coming.
You bet.
That is something I wanted to share with you. Next of all, this is the year of hundreds, I'm telling you. This is Rotary of Muscatine's 100th anniversary year. And so we have put together this wonderful event. It's going to be at the Merrill on February 1st, which is the actual 100th anniversary day. So it's very, very exciting. You don't have to be a Rotarian to come to the event. We just want to highlight all of the years of Muscatine Rotary and all of the things that they've done. If you're not familiar with Rotary, the whole mission is service above self and doing things to make our community and our nation and our world better and helping others. And they're always looking for ways that we can help, and there's been so many things. We've done projects right here in Muscatine towards helping children get school supplies and shoes and dictionaries and all the way to drilling for wells in India and trying to eradicate the polio epidemic. So there's a lot of things that Rotarians do, and we're very excited to help celebrate this anniversary. And next, I just wanted to share, tax season is upon us. It's going to be here very, very soon. The deadline will be certainly down the road. But, you know, for some families, it's very easy for them to do their own taxes. Perhaps yours are simpler, or whatever way that they might be. There's a lot of tax software that you can do and do your own taxes online, send them online, and then get your refund deposited electronically. But usually there's a fee involved. Well, MCSA is going to have some different tax nights at their facility where you can get your taxes done free if you make under $62,000 a year, which is a pretty high threshold. So there's also going to be people on hand to help you navigate that. So bring all your files of everything that you've got and look up MCSA. You can look on their Facebook page, and here are some of the dates that they're going to be there. And just go to MCSA, use their computers. There'll be people there to help you and get your taxes all done at no cost. That's the best way that anybody needs to get their taxes done. So thank you for letting me share those dates with you. We are going to now visit with our second guest. We're very, very fortunate on a variety of levels. We have the Chinese Orchestra coming to Muscatine. I don't know if I'm going to get this right, but I think this is the 4th time. Am I right?
5th time.
5th time.
Yep.
I knew I was going to miss that.
Yep.
Stein, you've been involved in every single one, haven't you?
I have.
You have.
I think I started 5 years ago, and we are going strong here.
Very good. We have been at several, so I went to one at Central, or two. I went to one at Calvary Church.
Yep.
Where were we at last year?
Central again.
Central again,
Yep.
okay.
And then this year, for the first time, it'll be at Muscatine High School.
That will be a new one.
That will be a new one.
That will be.
So, yes,
So they're coming to town.
they are.
They have already been in town since January 20th, I believe.
They arrived to the U.S. on the 20th, and so
Uh-huh.
they've played shows in Washington, D.C. and Chicago, and
Uh-huh.
then tonight, right now, as we speak, they're playing in Detroit.
Oh,
So
so there's jig
we're
jagging,
the 4th stop, and then
Yeah.
after us, they'll play Los Angeles.
and that's their last
And
one.
that's the last one, and
Okay.
then fly back, so, yeah.
Well, it is quite an experience for those who haven't gotten to hear it. It's a whole evening.
It is. This year we have 2 groups coming. One
Uh-huh.
is a orchestra group, and
Mhm.
the other group is a theater or opera group. So
Oh.
it'll be a good mix.
Oh, it will be.
it's-
I don't think we've had that one.
We
We
haven't.
haven't had
no,
that before.
No, so 2 groups this time, so
Sure.
it should be interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yep.
So is this the actual group that's coming?
Those are pictures of the Shanghai
Uh-huh.
Chinese Orchestra. That's the group, and they'll be here, and they'll play the first half of the show on Thursday, and then the second half will be the opera company.
And they'll be on Thursday night also?
Yep, those will both be on
Part
Thursday
one and
night.
part two.
Yep. We'll have
Okay.
a 10-minute intermission and free show, so anybody that wants to come out is
Mhm.
very welcome. And I think tonight, obviously, we wanted to talk a little bit about,
About some of
Some
the
of that,
stuff that's
yeah.
going on the world stage?
yes,
Certainly, I remember there was, some of these are musicians who have been here before.
oh yeah,
And because I noticed that throughout the years that I've gotten to chat with a few of them. We've had a luncheon with them
Yep.
and gotten to spend some time and getting to know them, and they're such a delightful group.
they are. They travel internationally all over the world, many
Uh-huh.
different countries, and so Muscatine is a unique opportunity just because most of the cities they visit are major metropolitan cities, and
Mhm.
Muscatine is their slice of Americana, so to speak.
Oh,
So,
yes,
Yeah, they
yes.
usually enjoy this one the most.
And they will be getting here on Thursday morning or Wednesday night.
Wednesday evening late,
Okay.
and then they'll rehearse during the day a little bit in the afternoon on Thursday, and then
Mhm.
the performance starts at 7 o'clock
Okay,
Yep.
at the high
at
school.
the high school.
Free as always to Muscatine, and it's not
Yep.
that way
Yeah,
everywhere.
we're lucky. Obviously, all the other shows are $20 to $60 a
Sure.
ticket, and
Mhm.
it's our gift to Muscatine, and it's a great thing.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. But I did want to talk a little bit about the health thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
I've had,
Definitely.
you and I have been talking about this
Yes.
for a few days.
We have. So everyone should know the mayor is very proactive in responding to citizen concerns. We actually spoke, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week.
Mhm.
And obviously, our committee that organizes this, we're certainly not health professionals, we're a volunteer committee.
Right.
And so we really look to the public health department to give us
Sure.
guidance on what to
Yeah,
do.
you're not a doctor.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. So fortunately, our local county health department is run
Mhm.
by Trinity Muscatine, the public
Right.
health,
Mhm.
Christy Roby Williams.
Right.
And so when I spoke with her last week, she was actually all over this already.
Sure.
And they were aware. I learned all this new, but the way it works is the CDC is the national body, and then
Uh-huh.
it trickles down to the state level,
And then
and then the
local.
county level.
Mhm.
So
So they're following protocol.
protocol,
Mhm.
and these are the professionals that make judgments about this
Sure.
kind of thing.
Sure.
And so I believe it was either Friday afternoon or Monday. Today's Tuesday, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And they did do the public health department did a press release to
Mhm.
the local media so they
Yes.
could, get the information out there.
Sure.
So they've done a lot of, checked the dates these people entered the country, made sure they went through the incoming screening, and then along each of these stops, obviously they've been screened as well. So, you know, you can never eliminate the risk entirely. That's the scary thing, and I understand the concerns from, you know, citizens and parents and things like that.
Right.
So, you know, obviously we want people to come, but we want people to be comfortable. And so anybody that, you know, if you have a respiratory issue already or flu-like symptoms, obviously don't come.
Sure.
And, you know, it's a volunteer type
I think
thing.
that's where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, we have to leave it up to each family to make
Exactly.
their own decision on what works best for them
Exactly.
and go from there.
Yep.
So they will be going to the school.
Well, so it's
The high
planned
school?
that they'll go to the high school. I think Terry Hoganson, the principal, did a nice job. He sent a communication to all the parents in the
Sure.
district. And I thought that was very well done.
Mhm.
Basically, like we just talked about, you know, the public health officials are saying
Right.
carry forward. But he obviously leaves it up to each family to make the
Right.
choice. So
When will they be there?
so they will be there in the afternoon on Friday.
On Friday.
So Friday at 1:15 to 2 p.m. That's not open to the public, but that's for
Just
the school.
students.
It's for the performing arts students and then the Chinese language students.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know, these art performance, so those students I think will be pretty interested to see.
So will the middle schools and the grade schools go there as well?
They will not.
Okay.
There's a separate group that may or may not go to Franklin School
Oh,
in the
okay.
morning on Friday.
Mhm.
So we'll see if that goes through for sure or not,
Okay.
but that's the plan.
All right.
And then on Friday at 1 to 3 p.m., Friday the 31st, there's going to be an open house at the Sino U.S. Friendship Center downtown.
Oh, sure.
So that's open to the
sure.
public, and that'll
Uh-huh.
have, some of the musical performers will have their instruments to get up close and see, and some of the drama, the opera performance will be there as well, the costumes.
Mhm.
And then they'll have a Chinese tea tasting and some food and things like that. So
Sure.
that's open to the public, so if you're downtown on Friday,
All
1 to
right.
3 p.m., please stop by. We'd
Uh-huh.
love to get a good crowd for that.
Oh, yeah.
And show them the
Yeah,
Muscatine.
Glad, I just talked to Glad, you know,
Very
the
involved.
museum, and
Yeah.
very involved, yes, and he was still in China and
Yes.
is headed here, because he'll be here for all of the events as well.
Well, this year he won't make it. So
He's not gonna make
He will
it?
not be here for the next few days for these events. He's in China. His wife will be though.
Oh.
So she'll be here.
He said he was on his way.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not
he
gonna
won't
make
be
it.
there.
Okay.
So, but yeah, this is the 5th year, and I want to thank, you know, the committee is a volunteer committee.
Uh-huh.
All walks of people are involved in this, and you
a
know,
big group.
city people,
Mhm.
private people, retired people. And to me, that's the best part of it every year. Obviously, this is a big event to put
Uh-huh.
together, and just to see the
Oh, sure.
teamwork, and
Mhm.
it makes you proud to be from here when
It
people work
does.
together.
And, you know, we talk about that all the time, Dan,
Yeah.
you know, how much our community really runs on volunteers.
They do.
It
They
just
do.
does.
And then financially, you know, businesses and individuals kick
Mhm.
in to help make things
Mhm.
go too. I wanted to talk about a couple of our accomplishments real quick.
Yes,
Because a lot of
please
people, you know, we
do.
pop up once a year for this event.
Sure.
But actually, this committee's been around since 2012.
Uh-huh.
Tony Joseph was the first chair.
remember
He
that.
did a great job. But some of the things that we don't take full credit, but we've had a role in making happen.
Mhm.
So 40 of our choir, our high school choir, went to China a couple
Mhm.
summers ago, and they got to perform at the People's Hall in China, which is like their Congress building.
Yes.
So that was quite an honor. That was all expenses paid for the students and families, so
Mhm.
that was great. We have, the last 4 out of 6 summers, we've got funding for a 6-week summer program in China, and so that's MCC and high school students that get selected. So 60 students have traveled on that program, again, free to the students and families. Our committee assisted in attracting GLAD to help with the hotel investment.
Uh-huh.
So he put in quite a chunk of money, which was critical. Obviously, the Howe family's the big lead
Sure.
people on that, but
Mhm.
his money was important to help that project
Of
move
course.
forward. This will be the 5th year of the art performance, so
Mhm.
that as well. And then I think really just as far as differentiating our community, you know, getting our word out there.
Oh, sure.
You know, this Muscatine China story has attracted a lot of media attention. I mean, the Washington Post.
Oh,
did some
certainly,
articles.
it's in there all the time. I
I'm
get
sure
calls.
you get called.
I do,
And
I do.
I know NPR is going to be in town for
Mhm.
some of the Democrat primary coverage.
Yes,
But
yes.
they're also going to be part of this.
And cover
so
this,
again, we'll
sure.
get some national media attention.
Yes.
So So it's a great way to differentiate our city, bring some
It is.
activity here. It's very sad, the timing of this year with this thing, you know, it's just kind of a bummer.
If it was 1 month ago,
I know, right?
we would have nothing.
We'd be in the clear. So we're a little bummed out, but all you can do is carry
it
forward.
happens, that's right.
And keep going,
So the name of the committee used to be Mayor's
It used to be-
Muscatine China Initiative, but we dropped the mayor's.
We did.
So it's Muscatine China Initiative.
So it's a non-city type committee,
Yes.
and we just thought that was the best way to do it. You know,
Mhm.
some of these, you know, China is always a sensitive issue.
Yes.
Politically, and,
Yes.
you know, our committee, we're less about the government relations, obviously we're
Right.
cognizant of that, but we're more about, we call it citizen diplomacy. So it's
Mhm.
people to people, normal citizens,
Uh-huh.
non-governmental.
Sure.
But we do like to get, you know, the mayor's been helpful to meet with
Mhm.
delegations and tell a good story about Muscatine.
It's
so.
been really, really fun to
Yeah.
do that. And sometimes you partner with the sister cities.
We do.
But mostly you are separate
Yep.
from
Yep.
sister cities.
John DeBeat's been involved with our committee, which
Mhm.
has been great.
Mhm.
And, you know, they have a lot of countries to cover where our focus is just this
Just
one.
China.
And so they sometimes let us kind of just run with that.
Sure.
But it's one of those things, you know, the Chinese love to come here and they love to visit. They love to see the river. We always take it for granted, but when a person from another country comes,
I
the
know.
Mississippi River is such
I
a
know.
big deal.
Like our Eagles.
It is.
We got our Eagles
It is.
right now,
So-
yes.
So we're gonna keep it going. We'll get through this little rough patch on the coronavirus and
We
also
will.
on the, you know, the
Mhm.
trade and all that. We're gonna
Mhm.
keep working.
Yes.
But I would just say anybody that's ever interested in getting involved, if they want to know more about it, the committee's open to the public. You're free to come and get involved, and we're always looking for more
Oh, sure.
volunteers, like everybody.
And especially anything with the arts. I mean,
Yes.
who doesn't love it? You know, I mean,
Exactly.
we're so lucky. I was talking to former First Lady of Iowa, Christy Vilsack
Uh-huh.
today,
Yep.
and she was surprised to learn that we have a Muscatine Symphony Orchestra.
Yes.
You know, they live down in Mount Pleasant,
Uh-huh.
and they have the Southeast Symphony,
Mhm.
but we have our own
It's
Muscatine
amazing.
Symphony
Our
Orchestra,
town,
which is
between- yeah,
amazing.
musically, the symphony, the art museum. Even I was sitting out here with Chris Anderson, which if you haven't seen his artwork,
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
murals
The new
all
mural
over.
down on 2nd Street.
And at the Early Learning Center,
That one,
Mhm.
and then I didn't know, just learned tonight, but he did these 4 paintings for the Robert Young Center.
yes, and I've seen them,
They
and they
are
are
unbelievable,
awesome.
unbelievable.
Yes.
So I don't know much about art, but I would just say that, you know,
We've got
Muscatine, and we've got it, but we gotta keep rolling.
We do.
Because that's, you know, creativity, art, that's the essence of life, and getting it out in our community, I think. It just brings joy to
Excuse me.
people, you know
It
what I mean?
does.
You see that color on 2nd Street now, and it just
Mhm.
makes you feel warm.
And
So-
getting it to our youth,
Exactly.
yes.
Open up their eyes. So I'm pretty excited about that, and, you know, anything we can do to keep pushing it. I also want to say thank you to our public health department, Christy Roby
Oh,
Williams.
sure.
She did a great job of getting all over this. And, you know, again, a local hospital, we take it for granted, but a lot of communities, you know, don't have a hospital anymore. So
No, they don't.
I think supporting that as much as we can as well is important.
I do too.
Yeah, so.
Only one other time have I had a coughing fit.
Uh-oh.
And this isn't as bad as that.
Okay.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The other thing on the coronavirus, you know, Muscatine, this is flu season.
Yes,
And
it
I know
is.
like just recently there's been a bug going around Muscatine, and so, you know, if you have that, obviously take the precautions, just like anything, wash your
Yes.
hands, stay in if you
Mhm.
don't feel well.
Sure.
To prevent the common influenza as well.
Yes, that's you know, I'm a big proponent of people, you know, getting your flu shots, staying home, you know, even at the Y, you know, I'll have staff come in sick and think they're doing you a favor, and I'm like, you're not
No.
doing us any favors, because
Yeah.
now you just passed it to everybody.
I know that kind of person that does that.
They
but-
think they're really being a trooper,
Yeah.
and no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're spreading stuff that we don't want, so
Exactly.
go back home and
Exactly.
get well,
Yes,
and then come back.
I've come back strong.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So, one other thing I wanted to point out towards people's fears of the virus is that the folks that are coming here from the symphony are in an area of China, are from an area of China way far away
Yes. So
from where this has originated.
right, the city that the origin of it is called Wuhan.
Right.
And actually, we've had performers from Wuhan before, but they are not this year.
Okay.
And so that's good.
That
So,
would have pushed us
but
over
I
the
would
edge.
compare it to
Uh-huh.
like, you know, say it's the United States.
Mhm.
If there was an outbreak in Chicago, our
Uh-huh.
group is from Washington DC. So like
Sure.
that's kind of the distance as far as like Wuhan to Shanghai. It's quite a distance.
Yes.
Those areas weren't part of it. They got here very early, so they got
Mhm.
here on the 20th before it really got going.
Right.
And they've been screened at the airports and at each city they've come across.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of a sensitive issue where, you know, reaching out to them and saying, hey, prove to us, tell us what you've done.
I know. It
But-
makes you feel
but
embarrassed. 'Cause-
it was
yeah.
embarrassing, but they understood.
Sure.
And you know, DC, Chicago had been asking the same questions.
Of course.
So that's what it is. So they're not from that area, not,
And they've been here.
they've been here 10 days. Now there's this thing
Yeah.
about the incubation period being 14.
I know.
But, you know, the media, I know they're trying, but there's so much conflicting information. That's
There
why
is.
ultimately, as a non-medical person, we just gotta look to our best people. which
Exactly.
That's, you know,
Exactly.
government
So we
channels.
have the CDC, and they pass it down to the state
Exactly.
departments of health, who
Exactly.
passes it on down to our local department of
Yeah,
health.
yeah.
And
So that's what we're
that's
going
what we can
with.
do.
And you
and then
know,
it's ultimately up to each family.
it is. So no hard feelings if people aren't comfortable coming.
Absolutely.
But if you are,
Absolutely.
please come out.
Mhm.
So,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah,
Because it is an awesome
it is.
experience.
Yeah, it's a great
we,
thing.
We enjoy it every year.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
we're thankful for all the help you've
Yep.
provided.
And very fortunate that we have this opportunity
Yes.
because, I mean, what, five cities
Yeah.
in the United States get to experience this, and we're
Exactly.
one of them.
Exactly.
You know,
It's
we're so lucky right
We
here
are lucky
in,
about
in
that.
Iowa and Muscatine
Yeah.
specifically.
exactly.
We just are.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Anything I'm forgetting?
I don't think so.
So Thursday night, 7 o'clock, do they need to sign up ahead or just show
No,
up at the
show
high
up.
school?
I would say doors will open at 6 because
Okay.
we do expect quite a crowd. We usually
Okay.
draw people from Iowa City, Quad
Oh,
Cities.
yes, yes.
We've done some advertising regionally on it, so
Usually every seat's gone.
hopefully we'll have a good crowd. We'll see.
Uh-huh.
But come out 6 to 7. Doors are open. 7
Mhm.
o'clock the show will start. Wrap it up around 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
And it should be a great show. And then again, the next day is the open house downtown.
That's
Friday from 1 to 3 at the Friendship Center, the old Marie Lindsay Furniture.
And I always think that's just as much fun. You know, I've got to have lunch with them before we went to the Pearl Museum upstairs, and sitting and visiting with them one-on-one and getting to know them is an
Yeah.
experience all of itself as well.
It is.
It is.
So, well, thank you, Mayor.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan, for
Yeah.
everything that you do. If you would just hang tight,
Sure.
I'm going to just do a couple of announcements. Next week, our guests are Karen Cooney, who's a new person on the Muscatine School Board, and as well as Mike Morgan. I tried to invite all of our new councilmen and women and all of our new school board members, just to give you an opportunity to meet them and hear what you know, what their goals are, and just get us all warmed up and getting to know them as they're new in their positions and serving Muscatine. You know, I mean, I give them so much credit because a lot of people don't realize how much really goes into how much time and effort that these people put into what they do, all in service for the citizens of Muscatine. And we appreciate that they're doing that and they're willing to do that on our behalf, and certainly on all of our children's behalf in the school system. So we'll have a special treat to talk to Karen and Mike next week. Reminder, we don't have any city council meeting this Thursday. Budgets start. So we will be doing budgets every Saturday from 8 to 4 and 5:30 to 8:30 on weeknights until we're done. So hopefully they'll be done in 3 weeks. But we will keep on trucking and get them done, and then they'll be up for review for the community. Remember that our city is shown live on Channel 5 on Mocklink Cable TV and on YouTube for the city and on Facebook, and then we'll replay it throughout the week. So if you aren't able to get to us at 6:30 on every Tuesday night, then you can always watch a replay of us. But thank you to our producer, Chad Yoakum, Steve. His helper isn't here tonight. He's O'Mill. Hope you get better soon. And we have Chris Anderson, our painter for the city, that is filling in and being a helper tonight. So thanks to everybody involved. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And we look forward to seeing you here next week on Our City.